Hi friends, today we're talking about a raw food diet for Pitta dosha. Now Pitta is our fiery friend. That is the dosha that I am dominant in, and maybe you are too. Listen to these signs of imbalance and see if they resonate with you. Red inflamed rash, acne, and cold sores. Now these are when you're in balance, right? You can have amazing skin when you're in balance. But a tendency towards that red, irritated, inflamed skin when you're out of balance, acute inflammation in the body or joints, acid reflux, gastric or peptic ulcers, heartburn, nausea or discomfort upon missing your meals. Now you're someone who is prone to be hungry like all the time, loose stools, a tendency towards diarrhea, and malabsorption problems, uncomfortable feeling of heat in the body, so not being really that tolerant of heat. You like cool climates better and you tend towards being overheated easily. Frustration, anger, and irritability. So emotionally, you might have a quick temper. Or you might sublimate your anger and have it manifest as depression, like yours truly. Judgment, impatience, criticism, intolerance, perfectionism. Thankfully, though, you have a very sharp mind if you are a Pitta dominant, and that is quite an asset. So these are just the signs of imbalance. I will make a future video where we talk about the assets of Pitta dosha. So, what to include and focus on your raw food lifestyle? Cooling, surrendering, moderation. The tastes of sweet, bitter, and astringent. Again, fruit is gonna be your friend. Bitter are things like dark leafy greens, cacao, astringent. Again, you get that in certain fruits and vegetables like an unripe persimmon that makes your mouth all weird inside. Real appetizing. Cooling foods. So nice cream and smoothies and salads and raw soups and all the things. Y'all, Pitta dosha has the potential to just thrive on a raw food diet because it is so cooling and hydrating. Cooling herbs and spices like coriander, cilantro, fennel, cardamom, parsley. About 8 to 12% of calories from healthy fats. So you're not quite as fat tolerant as Vata dosha, which can tolerate more, upwards of like 20% fat. You're not as fat intolerant as Kapha dosha, which really needs to keep the fat low. Could even do overt fat-free. You're somewhere in between. So you need a little bit, but you don't need like a whole avocado every day necessarily, or half a cup of nuts and seeds. You want to keep your fat at about 10% of calories from fat in the 80-10-10 format. Routine meal times and snacks if you're hungry. Again, you have a strong digestive fire, you have a strong appetite, and having 3 meals a day is going to be excellent for making sure you feel balanced and focused, and you can be present to your day and you're not just thinking, oh my God, I'm so hungry, I can't wait until dinner, and fantasizing about what you're going to eat for dinner instead of focusing on wherever you're at in the moment. And allow yourself snacks if you need to. Bring some bananas to work with you or school. Bring some oranges, bring some mangoes, some berries, some cherry tomatoes, some cucumber, an extra smoothie, a couple liters of smoothie. Make sure you go prepared so that you're not finding yourself at the end of the day starving. Mindfully eating in a peaceful environment. Now, Pitta is a dosha that would see stopping what they're doing to have a meal as kind of a pain and want to just like keep on going with whatever you're doing. So, I mean, it's kind of a paradox, right? Because you want your food, but you also want to just bulldoze through your day and not stop and have a real meal. So stopping and actually creating some ceremony, some routine, some ritual around having and enjoying your meal, preparing your food yourself. If you're into that, get my recipe book in the description. You can get it for free. And actually having 3 meals a day, that's going to be really helpful and grounding for you. What to avoid? Intermittent fasting. Again, you have a strong appetite, strong digestion. You are not the dosha that's going to necessarily thrive with intermittent fasting. Now, you might be saying, oh my God, but it works for me. If it works for you, keep doing it. That's awesome. I'm not here telling you not to do it. I'm just saying, if you are Pitta dosha, trying to live on a raw food lifestyle, and maybe you've done intermittent fasting and it hasn't worked for you, this is your permission to let go of that. It might not be serving your inherent constitution. It might serve to imbalance you further and make this lifestyle unsustainable for you long term, which is not what we want. We want you to succeed, right? Avoid the taste of pungent, sour, and salty. So salt is not your best friend necessarily. Vata is air and ether. Pitta is fire and actually a bit of water too. So you are going to tend to retain a bit of water as well, which is why with the salt you want to minimize it. Now you may be able to handle some, but you also might find that you do even better if you eliminate it completely. So experiment with that. You want to avoid hot temperature foods. Well, on a raw food diet, no problemo, you got it. Just enjoy yourself. I have a hot bevy section in my Raw Food Ayurveda Volume 1 recipe book, and it is filled with hot beverages. See how you do with those. They might not be the best for you. They might be a only winter kind of situation. Now, I was addicted to a few of them this winter, but then when it turned spring, I was like, no more. So, listen to your body with that and try and avoid hot temperature foods, especially when your pitta is aggravated. Chili and cayenne peppers, habanero peppers, jalapeno peppers with the seeds, any kind of really spicy, fiery, hot peppers like Thai chilies. Oh my God, so good and yet so bad. I know, like I said, I'm pitta dominant, so eating a bunch of spicy foods, I'll notice after I eat them, around my mouth kind of turns red and inflamed. And this is like, hello, pitta out of balance. Don't do this. So one thing I do that, because I enjoy pepper so much, is things like jalapeno peppers. I will still buy them, but I will remove the seeds and the pith and just use the outer portion of the pepper, which will retain the flavor of the jalapeno without that strong heat. So try that if you still really love peppers and aren't quite ready to let go of them fully. Processed foods, again, if you're on a raw food lifestyle, chances are you're not eating many of these in the first place. This is just more reinforcement to go ahead and let go of those foods because they're not going to serve you. Caffeine, nicotine, and other stimulants. Again, coffee, caffeinated teas, black teas. Go ahead and stick with herbal teas if you are drawn to drink some teas. Other stimulants aren't going to serve you. Now, cacao, again, I talked about this in the Vata video. Cacao is an excellent bitter taste for you. It gets that bitter flavor, which is balancing to Pitta. On the other hand, it is stimulating. So see how you do with it. I find I tolerate it just fine. Alcohol is another thing to avoid. Now, this is obviously a personal choice for you if you choose to drink it or not, but just know it does not serve to balance Pitta dosha. Just saying. Now, some more tips for Pitta dosha. Like I said, of all the doshas, you are going to probably do the best on a raw food diet because it is so cooling and so hydrating. Now, Pitta does need to be careful, like I said, not to eat too much onion, garlic, and heating spices. I know this is hard because like likes like. Like is attracted to like. So if you're really fiery, you're probably attracted to hot spices. I know I am. So just do your best with this, moderate, and things like black pepper in moderation can be good. I use no salt seasoning a lot, which has a bit of a kick, but it's more infused with other flavors than the hot, spicy flavors. So just be mindful when Pitta is aggravated and excessive. Say you're really, really angry, or you're having a lot of heat intolerance, or you're having red, blotchy, irritated skin, or you're having diarrhea. These are all times to let go of the hot spices. Foods that ground Pitta's lightness and heat, like root veggies, seeds, and sweet fruits, will serve you well. Milder tastes like apples, cucumbers, and lime juice are more soothing than sharp flavors like unripe pineapple, pickles, and vinegar. So that means you need to watch the fermented foods. Now, I talk about this extensively in my Raw Food Ayurveda Volume 1 book in each recipe that has like pineapple in it or bananas. Both of those foods are not typically recommended for Pitta, but as Pitta myself, I find to tolerate them fine. Just make sure that your bananas are fully ripe and spotty. Make sure your pineapple is fully ripe. This can be hard when you're buying pineapple in the store and you don't live in the tropics. So I buy a lot of frozen pineapple, and it is sweet and doesn't irritate me at all. Just make sure you're not cutting an unripe pineapple and eating it. You will know pretty much immediately that it was not a good decision. Oh, and a note about frozen fruit. Of all the doshas, you are gonna do the best with frozen fruit. So things like banana ice cream made with frozen bananas, you're gonna tolerate that really, really well. You're gonna tolerate making smoothies using some frozen fruit better than any of the other doshas. Now, frozen fruit obviously isn't as good as fresh fruit that, has never been frozen, hasn't had their cell walls damaged. But you gotta do what you gotta do to be a raw foodie in the modern world, right? I mean, if you're living in the tropics, that's one thing, but if you're living just like mainstream, pretty much normal life, and you just happen to eat a bunch of fruit, eating some frozen fruit is not the worst thing you could be doing. Sweet taste from fruit, bitter taste from dark leafy greens, cacao, cumin, turmeric, and saffron, and astringent taste from sprouted legumes and vegetables will pacify Pitta. So sprouts are very, very good. I have a cool little sprouting operation that I have going all the time, sprouting seeds and legumes, and this helps to ground Pitta's energy as well. Turmeric is something that I try to include just about every day because it is a very helpful bitter taste for kapha, and it's one of the spices we actually tolerate. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Pitta. Go for it, like green light. If you found a raw food diet in your Pitta dosha, really, like, congratulations. This is the most cooling diet you could possibly eat, so enjoy it. Take care to make it a part of your reality, a part of your day-to-day health routines, and be really confident that you are giving yourself the nourishment that balances you. As long as you stay away from the hot spices, you pretty much have green light. So go ahead and get my recipe book linked in the description below. Download it for free or by donation. Like this video if you like it. Subscribe if you want to hear more. And I will be coming to you again soon because I have just like so much to share. So get ready. Much love. We'll talk soon.